Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Princess of Aesthetically Princess, and today is just a quick hair video. So I have somewhere to be tomorrow, but at the same time I also have to go straighten out some of my hair, straighten out most of my hair, because I have to get my hair cut tomorrow, and usually I just straighten it and then I chop it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a talk with you guys while I detangle and twist my hair up into Bantu knots. I will give you a good look at it tomorrow morning when I wake up, but tonight your girl is going to quickly do it up so that I can quickly, because I have somewhere to be tomorrow, I'm going to be able to, go out, do what I need to, then come home, brush it out, and start, straightening it so that I can chop. Because we've gotten to a point where it's just, she just gotta go, and I haven't done another one since March. So I haven't cut my hair since March. I haven't straightened my hair since March. So this is a good time for you and me to sit down and talk. So let's get into the video. So it is currently like 11:30 at night. I just got out the shower, had myself a cinnamon roll because my mom made cinnamon rolls. Oh, I have so much hair. So first things first is I need to just moisturize the entirety of my head. So I just have this quick thing of Function of Beauty hair moisturizer that I got because I like it. Leave-in, the Function of Beauty leave-in, because I still have some, so I'm going to be using that. I still have Verb hair products, so I haven't bought any new hair products recently, so I will be doing, which I will be doing so soon, so that we can, do another hair update video. Let's see. I wanted to talk about mostly anxiety, things like that, because hopefully this will help for someone who also has anxiety. So, and because I haven't actually had a talk with you guys in a while. So let's first of all introduce myself. I am Princess. I am currently 21 years old. My birthday is in December. I am coming up as attempting to make my way as a social media based influencer. Not like influencer, but someone who has an idea of social media. I also do art, so if you will follow me on Twitter or on my art Instagram, then you'll know that I also do commissions, which are currently open for the spooky season, and I also do photography and this YouTube channel, which is actually pretty fun for me. So anything that you guys ever needed like help on or anything, you can always message me on my social media, or if you ever wanted me to do you a commission, also message me on my social media. So this is all the fun and games. Oh yeah, let's go for big girl, because this is not working. Well, anyways, I am going to be talking to you guys about my anxiety. So if you did not know, I have horrible anxiety, and things that might set off this anxiety, for example, might be talking to certain people. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is because tomorrow is going to be a very hard day for me, because I'm going to meet someone who triggers a lot of my really bad anxiety. So tomorrow's going to be a very interesting day. But I'm doing so because my family always encourages me to go talk to them, and so I said tomorrow we can have lunch. So that'll be my day tomorrow. Not as fun, but life or whatever. And usually I wouldn't encourage anyone to, not do something they're comfortable with, but tomorrow it's, honestly, I'm hoping to get paid for this. How centered is that? Not at all. So, anxiety. I have had anxiety for most of my life. From when I was in about middle school to now. So middle school, I would say about my 7th grade year. No, 6th grade year. I had some horrible problems that stemmed specifically from being bullied in elementary school. Not fun even in the slightest. It was a horrible time. I hated elementary school, and I didn't hate middle school as much as I hated elementary school. So that's fun, you know. And even though like I had a hard time in like middle school and such, it wasn't, you know, as bad as elementary school. I was dealing with a lot of bullying, whether from a very racist teacher, she was not any fun, or another student at school, she was also not very fun. But after about like getting into my high school stage, I started showing about really bad signs of really bad anxiety. Yeah, that's as straight as we're gonna get it. So about, like I said, high school, about my 10th grade year is when it started to get particularly bad. If you don't know what this is a tangle teaser, or no, not a tangle teaser, a curl something. Curl-tastic detangling brush. I have a video on this stinking thing. I spent way too much money on it, and honestly, I wouldn't recommend it, but you can watch that video if you'd like to. But anyways, I had started showing really bad signs of anxiety, from really bad panic attacks to just getting really sick from like how much anxiety my body was going through. And I think one of the first anxiety attacks I had in front of my family, my sister was at home with me, and she immediately was like, I'm going to call mom. And you know, my mom ended up coming home, and we ended up going to the ER because she was confused and she didn't know what was going on. But I think at one point all of my anxiety just kind of like slid together and was like, hi, hello, yes, I want to make your day as horrible as possible. So I ended up going to the hospital, and they sent me home. They were like, here, just head home, we're just gonna, you know, do a few things to help. But I think you just had a panic attack, and hopefully this will get better. It was around that time that I realized that I most likely had really bad social anxiety, and I still have really bad social anxiety, which has confined me to my home mostly in most of all situations. But overall, it's been a very interesting time. Now, speed forward with all of this social anxiety to my senior and junior year, so 11th and 12th year of high school, and I start experiencing a new kind of anxiety that isn't even like, you know, social anxiety. It's more like situational. It's more situation based of, oh, this is something that's going to happen soon, so honestly I'm gearing up to just, you know, expect this horrible feeling, which is not okay. If you like expect anxiety in a situation, it's not a nice feeling. So around this time I started doing dance and theater. So in my 11th grade year I did dance, and then in my 12th grade year I started doing theater tech, so technical theater based work. So I was working as a assistant stage manager. It was a very interesting time because overall, because of everything that I was doing, and that was a job that I had, you know, volunteered myself for because I enjoyed it. But around that same time I was supposed to be graduating as a senior, and I was also dealing with, you know, other school projects and then outside of school projects, such as clubs that I was like initiated into, not completely of my own agreement, but you know, life is as life does. And so I was going through a lot of stress at the time, as well as, you know, senior projects, ending my year as a senior, and at the time also, you know, doing things for teachers to carry on. Wasn't very fun, but it happened. So now that I'm a lot older, my anxiety did not, you know, end in a beautiful light. At the end of high school, I did not end high school, in my personal opinion, in a beautiful light. I had no idea what college I was going to. and I had been rejected from 2, and I was just going through a lot. So around that time I started having like horrible anxiety attacks. They were a regular, you know, occurrence in my day. It wasn't very fun, and so I started adopting some new, you know, helpful tactics, which we'll get into in a moment. But it's around that time I was just like going through a lot at the time, and it obviously, of course, did not sit well with either me, my family. My mom was very concerned for me at the time. She's like, you're so anxiety filled. And I was like, well, it's just how my life is now. I don't really have a choice. But anyways, with me not going to college and things happening so on and so forth, I started experiencing, of course, more at home anxiety, and I ended up getting a job, which honestly was a good idea for me to get out there and, you know, open myself up to opportunities, as one would say. But it didn't end well. It wasn't a very good time, and I ended up leaving the job that I was at after experiencing some not so nice things at the job that I was at the time. So I ended up leaving that job. It was a seasonal job, so it was easier to leave, but like, you know, still very interesting things to go through. As a chick that was fresh out of high school, trying to figure out what college she was going to, and I think that was like that moment of I don't actually know what I want to do with my life. Because before high school had ended, I was like, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. I just need to get this school in one of these schools in particular. But at the same time, I had been given some standards by my mother that I think ended up becoming a little bit harder for me, because she gave me this thing of, you're not allowed to go more than 4 hours away from any direction. And I had gotten offers from other schools outside. Like at one, I got offers from a school in California, Oregon, and I had thought about going to Texas at one point. And then when she gave me that, I was like, okay, yes, I'll have to go to like something a lot closer. And I thought about SCAD, and she immediately rejected that. And she was like, SCAD's so expensive, try something else. So after that, school just became a thing of, I'll figure it out eventually, and I still haven't figured it out. But currently I am thinking about saying fuck all and running away to London specifically. Probably going to try and attempt to go to either London or Canada. I can't keep staying in the United States. This is not going to be okay, and I think it's about time that I, like, you know, got away from my family for a long period of time. So even though I have all this anxiety filling in a personality, what the heck am I doing to help myself, you might be asking? Well, as a person with anxiety, and as a person who's experienced so much due to her anxiety, I have adopted a kind of a system for when I have horrible anxiety attacks or am feeling very anxious and things like that. I currently have a bunch of triggers. For example, when I drive, my anxiety like gets to a point. It's not like, oh, a point where I'm like feel like my life's in danger, or if I feel like I'm having a panic attack. But when I drive, the adrenaline kind of just, you know, counteracts the anxiety. So whenever I'm done driving, I'm always like shaking and things like that. Or this one is often talking to family members that honestly I'm not very comfortable being around. That's another one. What else? I'm very randomly spiritually inclined. So odd, but it's like how my life is. I'm very randomly very spiritually inclined, so like I don't fuck with certain things. So that's another thing that we will not be working on. So whenever I feel like I'm very paranoid, that's another thing. Paranoid over the randomest of things, so that's something else. Or when I lack a lot of sleep. I have really bad insomnia, like horrible insomnia, to the point where I've tried sleeping, I've had such bad problems sleeping that I do in fact take I've tried to try a ton of methods to go to sleep, and most of them end up either not working or working for a certain period of time and then stopping, or the worst one, which is immediate attempt, has bad consequences. Ugh, if you guys ever want to hear about my experiences as an insomniac trying the different methods that aren't straight up sleeping meds, let me know, because those are some stories that you guys, I think you guys would enjoy. But anyways, so on and so forth. I've done a lot to try and help my anxiety. For example, I started doing yoga. Yoga is one thing that has helped me, period, with my anxiety. Is to do a large amount of yoga at either at night or early in the morning when I first wake up. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm awake, time to, you know, take this time to be calm and like chill out, if anything. And it feels great. Honestly, yoga feels great, especially if you're not one to actually do like a real workout. Yoga keeps you toned and not you like, you know, muscular. It keeps your body toned. It takes a lot of, you know, energy and muscle strength as to, you know, accomplish good yoga positions and to be able to do certain yoga stances, and then a certain amount of like endurance to do other, you know, yoga positions. Especially I personally use yoga with Adriene. So in the mornings and at the night I'll do my yoga with Adriene routine. Every month she has like a new set of routines on her Instagram page that she'll post, and then she'll have like a playlist of videos that either she's already, you know, posted up that have been up on her channel for years, or something that she, you know, posts that day that goes with what she's trying to, you know, instill into your life for that month. I can't remember what this month is called, but if you follow her on Instagram, or if you are a subscriber of her channel, I have been for years, and I have enjoyed all of my yoga sessions. Sometimes they can be a little bit hard, but you know, that's just how it be, dog. Something else that I do is I meditate. Now, I know a lot of people are like, meditate? I've tried meditating and it doesn't work because I have like a short attention span. I have horrible ADHD, which is also what, like, you know, ties in with my anxiety. But because I have such bad ADHD, it can be hard to meditate. You can always try things like guided meditation. You can do guided meditation on like things like Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can look some up on Instagram, on YouTube, and then there's also apps and things like that. I personally like to make a chill playlist, something that's not like very crazy music, but something that has like jazz in it. Usually I like to put like some very nice jazz or some very sweet R&B, or specifically I'll go on YouTube and I'll look up chill K-pop R&B playlist and let them play and just kind of lay there. I'll lay there and just like, you know, close my eyes and just monitor my breathing. And that's one of my favorite ways to meditate personally, is to just lay down and monitor my breathing, try and clear my head as much as possible to just some nice music. And I feel like that's the best thing you can do, especially if you're having a hard time with doing that thing where you like sit down and you sit in the quiet and you're having a hard time because you're sitting in like the absolute quiet, and so your thoughts are taking over and things like that. So I always say, hey, if that's not working for you, try just laying down. Go to where you are, lay down, and just turn on some nice music and go for it, sis. Because honestly, that's way better than, if that for you works better than stinking freaking sitting down on the floor and just thinking to yourself, dog, do what it do. Because honestly, it helps. It helps. If you find your own, like, you know, ways to do certain things, it helps. Something else I have done for specifically my anxiety is I bake. This one is fun for me. This one is fun for me. So I love baking. I hate cooking. I don't even like cooking like that, but I adore baking. I will bake up a storm. I will do all types of stuff, be looking up recipes and just be getting wild. Honestly, I want to do a baking video with you guys, one where I just do just a bunch of, one of my favorite recipes is pumpkin spice snickerdoodles. Oh my god, it was one of the best things ever, and my family loves it. For a family that does not like pumpkin, they tore them cookies up. I adore, one of my favorite cookies is snickerdoodles, and I love pumpkin flavored anything. If you have been following me on Instagram or Twitter, I have been raving about this stinking freaking donut that I found at Publix. Like, of all places, Publix. If you don't know what Publix is, it's like something on the eastern side of the United States. It's like a Whole Foods or like a Ralph's. So it's the healthiest you're gonna get, but like it's like that, but it's honestly, I've been inside a Whole Foods. It's not as good as a Whole Foods. Whole Foods is a lot nicer, but like Ralph's, I've never been inside of a Ralph's, but like Publix, bro, Publix is awesome. It's like a less, it's like it's like Whole Foods, but like toned down to the max. If I can't find something at my Target, bitch, it's probably at my fucking home. It's probably at my Publix, dog. Probably at my local Publix. If it's not there, it ain't here. But anyways, I found this stinking freaking donut at Publix, and it's a pumpkins. It's like a jelly donut, but instead of like jelly or like custard, it's filled with mother effing pumpkin pie filling, topped with cream cheese. And oh my god, it is one of the best things I have ever tasted in my entire life. I was in love. I got two, and then honestly need more because I only had those two. And honestly, like I said, I need more. At first I was thinking about getting the one from Krispy Kreme, but as I was in like the Publix, I saw it and I was like, what the fuck? What on earth? And I snatched that up thing real quick. Gobbled that thing down. I haven't even had my first pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks for the season, but I had that stinking freaking pumpkin donut. Best believe it. And honestly, I don't regret anything. It was awesome. It tasted awesome. It smelled awesome. It made me so happy. 10 out of 10 would recommend if you like pumpkin. Speaking of pumpkin, I'm really craving pumpkin cake. I had a girl who my mom used to work with, and she used to make this awesome pumpkin cake. And can I tell you, bro, I was so sad when she moved. But yeah, that's something else that I do. Bake up a storm. Another thing is painting. Even if it's like, you know, just throwing paint at like a canvas or on my tablet, I will sit there and not even like draw anything really. I'll sit there and I'll just scribble in freaking circles. Oh my god, just sit there and scribbling in circles fills the time period so much. But it's like putting your anxiety on a page to just like let your hand move. Because I know, because usually my anxiety can bring on like a load of frustration from being so anxious. So just sitting there and like letting your hand move across the page is like so freeing. And it feels so nice. It makes you feel so much better because it's like no longer in your head. You're like less focused on, you know, caring about, oh my goodness, whatever you're like, you know, anxious about or whatever. And you're just kind of just letting your hand move freely. It feels so freaking nice. what else? Oh, last thing, and then probably just a b-roll of me doing some more of my hair, or I might just, like, you know, cut you guys off, and I will see you guys in the outro. But another thing is, I recently started really keeping a journal. So I have, like I said, I have a bullet journal that helps me organize my week, and it helps me keep, you know, it helps me keep myself organized. I feel like bullet journals can help you keep organized, so like I recommend having one, especially when that you're like, oh, here's my mood tracker, here is my habit tracker, things like that, because being so organized can help, you know, with something that you're being anxious about, like, oh, I've had like really bad anxiety over, you know, this situation, and having that bullet journal, being able to write down the situation or stuff that helps counter that situation feels so freaking nice. And it's something that I would recommend to like everybody, to have like a bullet journal to just keep yourself grounded. But I would also recommend having just a thoughts journal. This one is less for organization and more for just, you know, vomiting onto a page. It feels so nice to just put everything that's going in your head at once out onto a page, and then looking at it and being like, some of this just don't make no sense. Some of this just doesn't make sense. Some of this is just stuff that's like going through my head, but honestly, even though it is going through my head, it has no rational meaning. And being able to look at something and be like, hey, maybe this is a little too much, you're just like, that just sounds stupid. Another good way to combat that is, like, you know, actually talking to somebody. I mean, it doesn't even have to be like a therapist. You don't have to pay like a therapist or anything. You can also just talk to like your friends, like call up a friend and just be like, hey, do me a favor, just sit there and be quiet. Or talk to yourself. Or I know a lot of people are like, I filmed myself having like a panic attack. You know, like those people that like document their panic attacks, they'll like be crying on camera in the mirror. This, turn on your camera, just sit there and talk at it, and then right after that you can delete it. Sometimes just getting stuff out there really does just help either bring rationality to the thoughts that are happening inside your head, or overall just kind of help that anxiety just go away. Through my panic attacks, I always try and talk as much as possible, because when talking, it'll, you know, help you feel like you actually are breathing, because you're focusing on talking and not on the idea of, oh my god, I can't breathe. So just trying to talk, even if I always stutter when my anxiety attacks are happening. I start to stutter throughout the day. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the anxiety attacks would like take a day, like a full day of just me. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. Doesn't matter what's happening. If I start having an anxiety attack, I'm very much, you know, in the process of stuttering. I'm having a hard time talking. And it's a very interesting moment of, okay, something bad is about to happen to me, and it does not feel nice. I'm retwisting some of them because those two were falling apart. These other two are great. That one was just, she was just not with it, and I was not with her. So she was falling apart, so I had to fix them. But anyways, if you guys ever have any other ideas any other questions of how I deal with my anxiety, let me know. I don't actually take meds for my anxiety, because number one, I don't like being on meds. It does not feel nice to me. But like I said, if you guys ever wanted like to talk about, like, you know, other things like how I deal with my insomnia, other girl talk moments, let me know, and we'll do some more videos like this if you enjoyed. Now I'm going to go finish my hair, and I will see you guys in the outro. Bye. Well guys, thank you so much for watching this video. This is the finished hair look. It took me about an extra 40 minutes after I finished like you know, talking to you guys. And it is currently the next morning. I got my hair all done up. It looked pretty nice, actually. It looks a lot better than I thought it would. Honestly, I'm in a slight amount of pain, but like it's worth it. Thank you so much for hearing me like rant about like this entire video. If you like to hear me rant, you know, leave some more, you know, topics down at the bottom in the comments so that I can be able to, you know, figure it out what else you guys would like me to talk about. I've been through a lot of bullshit, so like, you know, I would hopefully be able to help you. And if you like this video, you know, give it a like. Share it to your friends if you want to. Thank you so much for 50 followers, by the way. 50 subscribers, by the way. And I really appreciate it. If you like me, though, you can follow me on all my social media, which will be linked down below, including my Twitter and Instagram and my our Instagram. I will no longer be uploading on Patreon, so I ended up taking my Patreon down. I'm closing it off until probably the beginning of next year. So I mean, there's still going to be some Patreon content, but like, you know, I'm no longer going to be allowing anyone to subscribe to our Patreon. So I apologize that you have to go through this. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for like sitting here listening to me. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.